So this is a really simple tutorial. In this video, we're going to be making a simple building plan in 3D by extruding lines within Rhino. This is carrying on from my previous video where we planned out all of our rooms and made all the line work necessary in order to get to this stage. So if you haven't made it up to this stage yet, I'll link my previous video here, or it'll be part of this playlist if you want to get caught up to speed. But from the last video, one thing I have changed is for all of the walls, I went ahead and used the rectangle tool like this to create all of the walls. And if you're not up to this stage yet and you still need to plan out your buildings, you can go ahead and use the rectangle tool. You go ahead and then click. I like to make the interior walls at 100 millimeters wide. Then click. And then you go ahead and use Alt and drag with the gumball. And then rotate it, then use move. Snap it together, and that's how you make your walls. So I did all of that while planning out my building. So then really simple, we're going to go to a perspective view. And we want to get all of our lines and put it onto a lines layer. So I've made a layer here called planning lines. Then we can go to our walls layer, which we've created. Make sure that's ticked. And we're going to go ahead and extrude all of our walls. So you use the command extrude curve. And you can set the distance. Also make sure up the top here that it says solid yes. So typically we'll make the house about 2.8 meters tall. And press enter. We can go ahead and change to shaded view. So now we can see that we've got our wall here. So what we'll do is go ahead and do all of our walls, and we'll leave the doors for now. You can see I haven't quite finished putting all of these rectangles in, so I'm going to go ahead and just put these in. The problem with trying to extrude just a bunch of line work is that you're not going to get solid walls. So we want to make sure that all of our walls we're going to put are rectangles. And go ahead and extrude these up. So there we go. Now we're going to do all of our doors in one go. So if you watched the previous video, we planned out all of the doors. So we're going to go ahead, select all of the curves that are in the doorways, and make sure we change our layer to doors. Then we'll extrude those and make it about 2 meters tall. See, we're missing a door here, so I'm just going to go ahead and use scale 1D. I'll make it about 1 meter for the door. So once we've got all of our doors, we can go ahead and select these. And we're going to use Alt and drag with the gumball. And then type in move and snap one of the doors on top of itself. Then use scale 1D again. And bring the doors down like that. So we've got a bit of a lintel above the door. And you'll notice most doors, we're just doing a basic amount of detail in here. We're not going to fully model an actual door with hinges and stuff. It's a much more complex one, but for this, I'm just going to go ahead and grab the door and go scale 1D. And then take this point here from the back and scale it to its own midpoint. So it gives a bit of a groove in the door. There we go, so we got our doors in there now. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these lines. Then for our outer surrounding wall, we've got this single box curve here. We're going to use offset. And make it a distance of external walls about 300. So go 300 and click. Now we've got our offset curve. We can select both and go extrude. Go solid yes and extrude that up to that height. So there we have all of our internal walls now. And we've got still kitchen layouts, so I'll just quickly extrude those up by about 800. We go ahead and use the planar surf tool to make a ground. And we can always copy this curve up, snap it to the roof, so we can put the roof on later. Then to create the doors within this, you can either use lines or do the same method as before, but I'll just go ahead and grab this door and stretch it out like that with the gumball. Then use Boolean split. So we remove that, and it's now created a little cutout for our door. For the front, and we can do the same thing for the windows. We just use the Boolean tool to create the windows. So we want to try and keep it the same height as the door. We can go ahead and just reduce the size of this by using scale 1D. You can go ahead and make a new window layer if you'd like, and change all of our windows onto this layer. You can set a glass material, so you just go use new material, go glass, and then that sets your window as a glass material. You can also change the display color. If you go to display color by layer, then go to our layer and change this just to like a blue that's transparent, and that makes a window. So go to our rendered view. You can see because we set that material, it's got a window which you can look through. Go to our doors. So that's just a really simple tutorial on how to make a simple floor plan and extrude that up in 3D. As we continue the series, in the next video I'm going to be making an architectural facade that we'll then go ahead and put on this to add a bit of characters to the building and start detailing it a bit. So this was just a really basic tutorial. I do have a much more advanced actual architectural course on Rhino where we create the Mies van der Rohe Farnsworth house. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check that out. It's on my website, and there we go into actual detail on a real architect's guide on how to, make a real building. But this is just a really simple tutorial, which I hope was helpful, and thank you for watching.